it's not the manliest thing I've heard.
Yeah.
And I just, the whole time I was like, this is very odd to me. I wish him well, and God bless. True. Basically what I'm saying is, since they don't suck dick, I understand it's probably more difficult for them, but like honestly, if they just sucked a couple dicks, it would solve their problems, and they would be like, hey, maybe we don't need to swallow bullets anymore.
Even as a kid, I remember watching this scene being like, I guess it's hard, but like...
it's just like this is, like a big vitamin.
The cigar putting out on the tongue is more scary.
Oh, yeah. Go into the bathroom, all of you lick a urinal, then take a shot.
Yeah, there we go.
Let me see you do that shit.
Hell yeah. That's real hard. Yeah.
It's not like they're swallowing dangerous pieces of explosives. To fire a bullet, nothing in your body will do that.
Yeah. Nothing.
Right.
You could fart, it's not going to shoot.
Unless you're Human Torch, I guess. And that would be the only time. Yeah.
I mean, if it comes out in the back of it, if it hits just right.
Yeah. I guess if you do take a dump and it falls on the porcelain at just the right angle.
Just hits it right at the,
We have gotten crass. Those are two wonderful scenes.
What about yours, Adam?
If I had to bring up a scene, it's going to be outside of the big gunfight, like John Woo scene. I think for me, it might be one of the softer scenes.
Yeah.
I think for me, I really enjoy, I'll bring up two. I really like when he is dealing with remembering everything. And first time he walks in and he paints his face and there's like music sort of playing. And I really like when he allows Sarah to see him.
Oh, me too.
I think they build that moment a lot where there's all these times where he could turn around and she would know and all this stuff. But he's torn between doing that and messing with her life, and he chooses to do it. And, you know.
Right.
I don't know. I just thought that's, once again, a well-acted scene. The little kid's great in it.
Yeah.
And we get to see the softer side against this very ugly movie by the set standards. Like, right? It's like gritty, it's dark, it's not even in color. And then all of a sudden, he hugs this kid because he misses this little girl that he's helping raise because the mother's a heroin addict.
Right.
Oh.
I really enjoyed that. What about you, Marcus?
There's two. I would think the first one that comes to mind, not to be cliche, but it's not the table shootout itself.
It was the opening murder, wasn't it?
Right, yeah.
I could tell, you were just like, fuck yeah. You were just pounding popcorn and like...
Yeah.
Fuck tenant rights.
Fuck yeah.
Tenant rights? It's, oh my god, this is Rent.
Fucking people need to get a job.
That's right. This is Rent. This movie is Jonathan Larson's...
But my scene where I get most excited is at the end of the shootout when he's walking up to Skank and it's just like the lights flashing and him, you get just him walking up to him and it's just Skank, like, I'm dead, like showing it like half his face, like Skank's dead, man, like this, I'm a new guy kind of thing,
right?
And it's just him, and he doesn't even say anything. I don't think he says anything, and just pushes him out the window.
No, he goes, Skank's dead.
Yes,
and he goes, that's right.
That's right, yeah. But it's just that whole walk up to him, and also, I really like the pawn shop scene with him and the pawn shop. It's just so ominous and so slow, and he's talking in a normal voice again. He's like Eric Draven talking, but it's just in these very light kind of one sentence phrases. It's so good and ominous, and it's a lot of fun in somebody.
That's another scene that I was talking about, right? Where it's like he's dancing between this joy of getting his vengeance, and then he finds the wedding ring and he's like this crying baby again.
Yeah, and then he turns just this angry guy. Yeah.
It's so well done, and that knife in the hand, that was another thing. The studio was worried about the violence, so they would cut away. Like in the original cut of that movie, you get to see the knife penetrate the hand, but they cut that away. There's all sorts of other violent stuff in this
something
movie
I think that also, it just speaks to how good this movie is. This could have so easily been written off as like a Batman clone.
Yeah.
Like not even the film, but the comic. Like when you think about it, a gloomy guy in a corrupt city getting revenge. I mean, even a crow is a winged flying thing.
Right.
It could so easily be, but when you're watching it, it should be like so easy to dismiss as like a Batman knockoff, but it's not. Like you come out of it not feeling that at all.
And a lot of critics did write it off as a Batman knockoff, and I could see certainly even the church scene when he walks into the church, like it's very much the final fight scene of Batman, or at least it's influenced
by
that. But I think it does really well of being its own tone and themes. Any other scenes stick out to you guys?
Truly, the ones that you guys listed were other ones that I also was into and I liked.
I think while you're thinking about that, I think another one that is a really just subtle, easy scene is between he and Ernie Hudson. When he breaks in and he's just trying to be a normal person and talk to him about because he realizes how much he cared for Shelley and her death and what he did for her. It's that really sad line line of like, "You gonna disappear again?" And he's like, "I just want to use your front door." Like,
yeah.
I'm just tired fucking Aaron Draven at this point.
I was also just going to say any scene with Michael Wincott in it, too.
Oh, yeah.
What a villain. Incest, murder.
He's got that gravelness in his voice.
Well, here we are again, gentlemen.
It wouldn't matter what the book was. I could listen to that guy read to me all day long.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
And he does it in a puffy shirt, like the whole time. Like
he's dressed like a pirate the entire time.
Right. Yeah, and that's the other thing. He's not like he's not like jacked. I mean, he dresses like a musketeer.
Yeah.
But he's still wildly intimidating.
Right.
Yeah.
Wildly intimidating.
Maureen, did you think of the scene you were thinking of?
Oh, I sure did. It was the brother-sister fucking. Yeah. So we touched it. We touched on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now-
that ass, that shower scene.
Well, to be clear, we never see them fuck.
Yeah, it's implied.
Her first time on camera, it's just her ass.
Yeah.
Center screen.
She looks great.
You know when you're older, too, when you see a scene like that when you're a kid, you're like, ass. But now when you look at a scene like that, you're like, how can I remodel my bathroom? What would that run me? What would that cost me to get a shower like that?
It is the first thing I thought about after rewatching this last night with you guys was like, damn, that's a nice shower.
Dude, that's so funny because the whole scene I was thinking about, I was like, wow, that shower head was in a corner.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wait till you see Bullets, Bourbon, and Karate and Creepstreet remodeling podcast.
Oh my god, I would die. I would love that.
We only remodel famous action movie scenes.
Yeah.
Let's just formally start our campaign right now to land a Discovery Plus show.
We remodel your bathroom, then record a podcast in it.
Yeah.
Those are some of our favorite scenes. If you got favorite scenes, let us hear about it. I'd love to hear what some of your favorite scenes were out there. bbkaratepodcast@gmail.com. Before we move on, we should get to... I'm going to truncate this section because there's two major scenes that I want to touch on. They do happen far apart, but I want to put them together because now it's time for the boss fight. Boss fight. And I'm going to start the boss fight at the wonderful shootout at the big conference stage.
As you should.
Yep.
Because everything that leads up to this last half hour, 40 minutes of The Crow, and this is the scene that everybody remembers from The Crow, too. I mean, all scenes should be remembered, but this is the one that everybody loves. And, I mean, everything is good from Wincott to Lee to Tony Todd even too in it. We have Tony Todd, we have Candyman, but it's everything in here is so good. The mannerisms of Brandon Lee jumping up on the table, cross-legged, who fucking cares attitude, to Wincott doing the same thing.
Yep.
To Top Dollar kind of just this, it's me and you, let's just be assholes to each other kind of thing.
And I like that Top Dollar's not intimidated at all.
No, he's not. Yeah.
After he's killed all of his men,
right.
The guy somehow gets in, and he's just like, oh, God, this guy. Kill him, please. And the gunfight happens, and it's great. It's a lot of fun to watch because normally in gunfight scenes you have the hero diving and taking cover. In this, Brandon Lee doesn't care.
There's no diving. There's no diving. It's not even. This is so John Woo, but not John Woo. Like it has the settings to where things could be happening as far as running down the table, doing anything, slow motion, spinning around with two guns in his hand or something like that. But it's very rough editing, with the fight. There's darkness. You have gunfight. It's
confusing.
It's confusing. He grabs swords, which is great. I mean, there's so much happening in this that is so much fun.
Yeah, we get hand to hand. We get gunplay. Brandon Lee helped coordinate some of those fight scenes. What did you guys think of that big gunfight?
I loved it. First of all, I think if John Woo did direct this, it would be called The Dove.
Yeah.
Or just a bunch of crows.
You're right. The aesthetic would be different. Instead of all in black, everyone would kind of there'd be a lot of light, everyone dressed in white, the occasional dove floating across screen. The scene is great, and you can almost get little hints of the lobby shootout in The Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. I think pound for pound, that Matrix shootout scene is maybe a little better, but you get these moments in this film where you can tell they were probably inspired by how it's shot is very frenetic. There's no like long drawn out shot.
Right.
It feels very, you feel the chaos.
Yeah.
Whereas I would say the Matrix scene, that the lobby scene, there's a lot more of a smoothness and a gliding to it. You can definitely tell they were probably inspired by how that scene was shot.
I think so. Black on black, dual guns, just taking a bunch of guns. And we'll move on to where Top Shot we get in sort of this old school sword fight on top of a church.
Yeah. Him and Top Dollar, Crow and Top Dollar get up there, and
you got everything you want in a final battle. Rain.
You got rain. You got
epic
moonlight,
location. Yep.
Yeah, and it's just
ninja swords.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun, man.
Right.
I mean, it's
and once again, this is a testament to both James O'Barr and the director. That's another thing. It's kind of like suddenly whipping out a guitar and shredding.
Yeah.
It should be stupid.
right.
The fact that he's got a katana in Detroit, it should be stupid.
And the other guy's fighting with a Weatherman.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It should be stupid, but it's not. It's because everything complements each other.
And I think because also that it's not a long fight on top of the church.
Right.
It's probably a 3-minute fight. And it could have been way more drawn out, too, and it probably still would have been pretty fun. But no, you have a guy, I mean, yes, Brandon Lee is bleeding now and he can die again, whatever. But in the same vein, you know that Brandon Lee can kick Top Dollar's ass alive or dead. No matter, you know.
Absolutely.
And it's like Adam and I talk about on every fight scene, like, you see these main baddies that can't hold a fight. It's usually they're under their second in command that is the bigger boss than they are. And rightfully so. They're the smart ones. They're not the muscle. They're more of the mind. Whereas Tony Todd, I would have loved to seen a fight between Tony Todd with Brandon Lee in that. Like, I wish that was one thing that would have happened, I
would have liked to have seen that, too. We also talk about this, and maybe Creepstreet agrees with us, like, I need to see... Well, Steven Seagal has this issue when he's fighting, he doesn't really ever get hurt.
Right.
And even when he's shot, he sort of just dominates. Brandon Lee gets fucked up in this fight scene.
Right.
Yes.
He's destroyed everyone. He's beaten rooms of 30 men. He's destroyed people who are expert with knives. And now all of a sudden he's really hurting. He's been shot. He's been stabbed. He's down and out. And that is how we're able to accept that this Christopher Lambert, lead singer of the Gin Blossoms, is able to keep up with him.
Yes.
Right.
And we get a great death. Falls off, gets impaled on a gargoyle that spits out his blood.
Love the good sound of blood
it's
that
a great
happens during
death.
that, too. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What were you saying, Maureen?
Oh, I was just saying, it's such a like rewarding death. You know?
Yeah,
Just
and
like,
the gargoyle kind of goes...
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
And then we get a sweet ending. You know, Eric gets to be with Shelley at the end because he's done his duty.
Yeah.
He's cleaned up the streets.
Little outro by Sarah, just,
Little narration.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
little
that.
narration.
And apparently the narration was added, a lot of that narration was added after Brandon Lee.
Okay.
Because they cut some scenes, some extra scenes that he had left to film. And we get a great movie. I think that if you have an actor die who has scenes left to shoot, this is about the most respectful way you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
It didn't feel gross. It felt good. It felt like everything Brandon Lee would want to have happened.
Yeah.
Judging by the interviews he gives about this film and how important this film is to him.
Right.
Right.
I think he would have been thrilled with the reception and how it turned out. And I think, unfortunately and fortunately, it would have catapulted him to pretty big budget Hollywood guy.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Why do you guys think? Because obviously they made sequels. I think we're all like direct to video.
Direct to video.
Yes.
But why do you think the hook never set in people's like mind share? Did make a pretty good profit based on their budget.
I just don't think you can capture a 94 moment like that with stuff that it's ahead of its time.
Yeah.
I mean, you think you had Batman 5 years before that, only 5 years before that, that was ahead of its time. And then you have The Crow, which it's like a turning point. It was a turning point for comic book movies. Besides Batman and Superman, this is like an R-rated comic book movie.
Yes,
this is Spawn
absolutely.
before Spawn happened.
Good point.
This is all that stuff. And you just can't find that now without somebody trying to just sink their teeth into it too much.
Right.
And not just letting the audience have fun with it. You know, kind of like what I was thinking was what we talked about, how Brandon Lee's just thrown into this when he wakes up a year later, and we just know he knows that he's on this mission, he's painting his face now, and he's immediately going to kill Tintin. Now, I think if we have this movie, we get this whole music montage, probably of like a narration of here are the rules for this world that we live in now, and we see this montage of hero, this anti-hero going, trying to learn of what his body is now. And it's kind of just spoon-feeding the audience this stuff to where here, it's just like, nope, Brandon Lee and his girlfriend get raped. She gets raped and dies. He gets killed. Now he comes back a year later, and this all happens in 15 minutes. And it's just like, now I think that would be kind of more spoon-fed and kind of more boring than it is with Crow.